What do angels look like is very similar to asking the question, what do ideas look like? Angels are metaphysical, they're ruchnias, they're not gashmias. And they don't have a countenance, they don't have an appearance. The Chassidus brings that there's an argument between Rambam and Ramban. And the Rambam holds that malachim don't have a body at all. They're entirely ruchnias, entirely metaphysical. And then Ramban says, Eisa malacha v'ruches mishasev eish loyhet, that malachim are made from two elements, eish and ruach, fire and wind. But it must be pointed out that when it says that malachim are created from fire and avir, fire and wind, it doesn't mean eish and ruach, which are two of the four elements down here, eish, ruach, mayim, and afer. Because we know that malachim are from the chemer hachamishi, malachim are connected to the shamayim, to the galgalim. So it's a different concept of eish and ruach. However, we understand that the Ramban nevertheless holds that they have a particular achiza in some kind of a gashmi, like a guf. And there is an understanding that even though malachim are metaphysical, there is some kind of association with time and space. But that's a sensitive discussion. The bottom line is, the short answer to the question is malachim don't look like anything. They're life forces. They don't have a physical countenance, a physical appearance. They are, relative to physicality, like ideas. Now, when the Rambam talks about malachim, he talks about malachim extensively. He speaks much more about malachim than he speaks about neshamas. In the Yad HaChazaka, as well as in the Meir Nevuchim, he describes them as intellectuals, as Bali Seichel. That their identity is abstract ideas. Because in the world of the Rambam, ideas are absolute truths. And being an intellectual means to be a real creation. In other words, a being that's not here today and gone tomorrow, but that's forever. In other words, the Rambam's idea that the malachim are Balei Seichel is similar to what Chassidus would say, Hasagas Alakus, reaching godliness. Because the Rambam's Yediyas Hashem is our Hasagas Alakus. Nevertheless, we find all kinds of depictions of the countenance of malachim, right? There's so many different ideas that are mentioned in Tanakh describing how malachim look, how angels look. And the Rambam talks about this, of course. And what he explains is basically, Hakel Moshel Melitza, when the Torah describes a malach, for example, as having wings and arms and legs and all the other things he describes, being in the shape of a ball like an oifan, or being in the shape of a chaya, which has hands and feet, and the feet are covered, keregel egel, the feet are fused. Every one of these details should not be construed as if the malach is a physical creature with these very weird form. They're all, every single one of the details represents ideas. None of them is actual. None of them is physical. And one of the things that the Rambam discusses in describing the countenance of malachim, the appearance of malachim, is malachim have a face, and malachim have a body, and malachim have feet. And if malachim are not physical, what is the meaning of the face of a malach? And of course that means the higher edge of the malach's intellectual reach as it's relating to things above itself. And the idea that malachim having feet would mean the end of the malach, which is the lowest level of the malach, the way the malach is a mashpia, the malach is giving somebody else. Like the Rambam explains by the Eibishter, V'yirus Elokei Yisrael v'tachas raglov. Raglov doesn't mean Hashem has feet, chas v'shalom. It means the lowest level of a lakus. So the concept of malach having a face means the highest aspect of the malach's understanding, and the concept of malachim having feet is the lowest aspect of the malach's understanding. And then you have wings. And in some place it says that they have 4 wings. And in Yeshaya it says they have 6 wings, right? B'shtayim yechas afanav, b'shtayim yechas raglo, b'shtayim ye'efif. 2 feet cover its face, 2 feet cover its legs, and 2 wings cover its head, 2 wings cover its legs, and 2 wings it flies. And if you understand the head as not meaning a face, but meaning a connection to what's above itself. If you understand feet, not meaning as physical feet, but a connection to what's below, so what's the concept of wings? So the Rambam explains that there's a big difference between the 4 wings and the 6 wings. This is discussed in the Gemara Chagiga as well. The 4 wings are like that the knafayim, that the wings are like levushim that cover. The four wings cover. What do they cover? They cover the face of the malach from receiving too much hashpah from above itself. They cover the feet of the malach from being mashpia to the lower world. So when a malach has only four wings, the malach is being described as being fixed in one level, and it's not getting too much from above itself, it's not giving too much to below itself, and the malach is stagnant, he's standing still. On the other hand, in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, however we understand it, the malachim have 6 weeks, the remaining 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks the malachim fly with, and again, you cannot understand flying as a physical thing because they don't exist in time and space the way you understand it. The Rambam explains flying in the following way. He says, when you want to describe something lofty, you want to give an illusion from something light. So we compare it to a bird, we compare it to flying, because physically being able to raise yourself above the earth indicates a lightness and a tendency to go towards what's more spiritual. So malachim are described as flying because flying is a physical activity that represents a spirituality and a lightness, so to speak. And the idea that the malach has 2 wings with which it flies is the idea that the malach is able to raise itself from one level to a higher level. Those are some thoughts, and I've discoursed this much more, but you ask a question, you get an answer, I guess.